Today's video has been brought to you by Chic Clothing. Go to www.chicclothing.com for our line of hand-designed signature caps and more information on how you can have your caps color customized to your liking. Plan your adventure. Subscribe to our mailing list to be informed about upcoming expansion to our line of clothing.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kazama Fury here, and I'm back fresh off of work. The blue collar gamer. So I'm fresh off of work. And I've been watching videos, looking at other people's reactions and stuff. And let's talk about Resident Evil 2 and the alleged rumors that's going on right now and about everything that's going on behind the scenes with the remake when it comes to what we are getting. These are all rumors. Remember this. This is all rumors, people. A and B missions are gone. It's going to be one campaign per Leon and Claire. There's going to be more Ada gameplay like in Resident Evil 4. And speaking of Resident Evil 4, it's going to have the over-the-shoulder look, third-person look. And they're going to even add elements from Revelations Part 2. With Sherry Birkin, giving her the ability to defend herself against the undead. And on top of that, there's going to be no Tofu, no fourth survivor. All of that more than likely is going to be held for DLC. More than likely. Because I don't see them removing it. They're going to probably, maybe if they revamp the whole battle mode system, if they even put one in there. Alright? That's just some of it that I can speak of directly off the head right now without referring to my computer down here. So, there's a debate going on right now. The over-the-shoulder thing, as long as it's not first person, will over-the-shoulder work for you as a fan of the classic Resident Evil 2. We have to hear people complain and say that the static camera angles was frustrating with the tank controls and everything. And I'm thinking, like, remember back when, if you're my age, if you're in your late 30s, remember back when you were playing games and then as a teenager or younger, and your uncles or your older siblings said, well, damn, this is a lot easier. You know, you got it easy compared to the shit we had to play back then and how we had to play with this stupid ass controller and stuff. Look at what's going on currently right now when it comes to static camera angles versus over the shoulder. Same shit. I'm from that era where the original Resident Evil was fresh in my brain and I had to learn how to play it and I had to get used to those camera angles. Once you got used to the camera angles and once you mastered the game, they didn't become a factor. I'm not asking for static camera angles just because I'm nostalgic. I'm asking for it just for the simple fact that Resident Evil 2 is a fucking classic. I don't want it modernized. I want it retold. Better graphics. More emphasis on the story. Things that were left on the drawing board could be put into this game because now they have the time, they have the graphics, they have the space to do that. It worked for Remake 1. Why can't it work for Remake 2? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm just stuck in my ways and I'm set right there. I'm saying the first remake was fucking, it was damn near perfect. And here goes my phone. So it's gonna be a jump cut. The first remake was fine just the way it was. The remake of the first game. There's no reason now to change 2. There is not a reason. This is why it sits bad with me. It's not because it's taking elements from Resident Evil 4 over the shoulder. I think Resident Evil 4 is a great game. My thing is, that's Resident Evil 4 style of gameplay. Now, what if people started advocating for Resident Evil when Resident Evil 4 is up for remake in about 15 years from now? What if people started advocating that it be made with the original Resident Evil 1 tank controls. It'd be retold in a drastically different fashion. Just imagine that for a second. And you'll see where I'm coming from with this. You'll see that I'm not just against this because it's just to blow smoke up my ass and I'm stuck in my ways. I'm just saying, the game, you already did one. People wouldn't be making such a big stink about this if you didn't already have a remake that remained true. It remained true to the original one and did much more with it. If that didn't exist, if Remake 1 didn't exist, none of this would be a factor. It would not be a factor. But it is because of that. And now people are like, okay, now we have to deal with a game that's being stripped of features. And it's being modernized, all right? But it's being modernized to take maximum advantage of you financially. That's what it's being modernized for. And they say it's supposed to be a drastic redesign. Now you tell me all those famous spaces, all those areas, that corridor down there when you went down into the basement heading out to the garage and there was the dogs there and then later on there was the liquors there. You telling me all that now over the shoulder, meaning that it's going to have to be redesigned to be a much wider space and stuff. Like, how are you going to do this? Because them hallways were made tight, not extremely tight, but they were made for third-person camera. Now you drastically redesigning the entire thing for what? To make it third-person over the shoulder? You know, isn't that kind of like an advantage? Or you're gonna put more zombies down there? You're gonna put more dogs down there to attack? You're gonna drastically make, like, where you going with this? That's what I'm thinking. Like, so you're gonna drastically redesign the game just to modernize it for the over the shoulder. And yes, I admit it now. The original control, the static angles, could be problematic to certain people. It's an acquired taste that time, but you got used to it. You really got used to it. So I'm trying to say, are they gonna really revamp the whole feel of Resident Evil 2? Resident Evil 2 had moments where there was just silence and then there was enemies. You walk into a room and then maybe 5 seconds later you hear the now what are you gonna do now? Now you're gonna change that now as soon as you walk in the room they're gonna come running at you? Like, I don't get the over-the-shoulder third person. What, you're gonna make they're gonna change the zombies? They're gonna attack you like they did in Resident Evil 6? They're gonna lunge at you? Like, what are you doing with the tone and the feel of Resident Evil 2? I got legitimate questions. This is what I'm coming from. Like, if you're changing the camera perspective, you're changing the tone of the game. So it ain't just because I'm selfish. I played Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. I beat all 3 of those. I don't have that much problems with 5 and 6 as everybody else does. I actually had good fun with them, especially in co-op. That's what makes them stand out. They are great co-op games. Great. The mercenary modes are amazing in those. I wouldn't say, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever amazing. Like, it's just amazing how much fun you can have with another person. And you can go on Twitch and still see people playing 5 and 6. 6 mostly. But anyway, now that you're changing the camera perspectives, allegedly, you're going to change the tone of the game. And that's where my problem's at. Alright? Remake 1. Now, I'm going to keep referring to Remake 1 because it kept the same tension. It kept the same fear. The boards creaking, the walk around the corner and stuff. I know the camera angles changed, but you'll walk into a room and there'll be a certain angle. And then you walk around the corner and the zombie right there. Then you draw your gun real quick, or like stuff like that. So it has its pros and cons. As do the new over the shoulder has its pros and cons. But my thing is, those 4, 5, and 6 had their own tones to them and stuff. Now you taking RE2 and you're gonna put that tone to it. That's the only way I see it. Like, I don't see how a game with a third person over the shoulder game can retain the same fare and attention and the stillness at times that RE2 did. I just don't see how it's going to happen. Maybe that's just me. Explain it to me in the comments below, because we can have a chat about this. Like, seriously, like, that's where my biggest concern coming. Like, it's going to change the tone of the game. It ain't just because of shoulder, because I don't have no problem with the camera angle. I have a problem with it being applied to a game that was good as is. And if you're making a remake to fit into this new modernized era, because we got a bunch of people, we got a few gamers who need their handheld and stuff, and they don't respect the original ones. They came in on Resident Evil 4, or they came in on Resident Evil 7. Those are the worst. But I can understand that if you came in on the Resident Evil 4 and stuff, this is right up your alley, okay? But explain to me below how you feel. Like, are you going to be happy as if you're a serious fan of Resident Evil 2, if you're really a fan of Resident Evil 2, this over-the-shoulder that's being rumored to happen is going to change the tone of the game. And that means it's more than likely it's going to have action, more action, because that's the only thing that the over-the-shoulder can really bring is more action. Every over-the-shoulder Resident Evil from Revelations 1 and 2 to 4, 5, and 6 had more action than Resident Evil 1 and 2. And I know 3, Nemesis has a lot of action because there's a lot more enemies, there's a lot more weapons. We get that. Nemesis is a good game. That's the amalgam right there. If you're gonna Resident Evil 3, it's like it has the action and the amount of enemies sometimes that the 4, 5, and 6, not as much as 4, 5, and 6, but it has more action than that, and Code Veronica have more action than the first two. So I don't know what they're gonna do. It's not like, I don't know. Like, you let me know how I feel. You think the tone, the rate of action is gonna change? Let me know. So anyway, keep watching what you want, keep gaming the way you want, keep being you, because I'm a Fury. Let me know in the comments. And to all the new subscribers, thank you very much. I will try not to let you down. I'm the blue collar gamer, so I work 12 hours a day, but I will try not to let you down. Thank you so much. Peace.